Hello, students of MTGO Academy. This is your Pauper Professor Jason Moore. I'd like to welcome you to the latest installment of. So, anyway, we're talking about Stompy today. We're going to be playing Stompy. This is a mono green, very aggressive, extremely low curve deck that wants to flood the board with 1-drops, attack for a lot of damage, and use various tricks and pump spells in combat to push through for that lethal amount. So this particular list I'm playing is going to be a little bit more unorthodox. I'm trying out a lot of different cards. Many of these cards I have very little experience with, and I really just want to push the boundaries and see why certain cards are played over others. And I think over the course of the matches, I ended up being pleasantly surprised at how effective the majority of these choices were. In fact, I would play this exact 75 again in a heartbeat. So we've got the typical Stompy staples, if you will, in Nettle Sentinel. We've got 4 copies of Rancor, we've got Skargan Pit Skulk, we've got Vines of Vastwood, and most lists are also playing Young Wolf. A lot of people are playing Sheenan, and of course Quirion Ranger. But you'll notice that we're actually only playing 3 copies of Quirion Ranger instead of 4. This is for a couple reasons. The biggest reason is anytime that I play against Stompy, and a lot of the times when I'm playing with Stompy, the games in which I completely obliterate Stompy with a sweeper or something like Electrickery, and similarly, when I'm playing Stompy, the times that my board gets completely destroyed by stuff like that is when I get those draws where it's like 3 Quirion Rangers on the table. And anytime you draw too many of this card, it just seriously hampers you. You get such diminishing returns. It is only a 1/1. You really only want 1 if you're in the market for this effect, for the most part. So I've been playing 3. That gives us a chance of drawing 1, a decent chance of drawing 1 a game. And I haven't regretted it at all. Another reason that we're not playing 4 is that we're not playing Groundswell in this list. That might seem insane to some of you. The connection here is that Quirion Ranger returns a forest, and then we can replay that forest to trigger the landfall on Groundswell. But instead of playing Groundswell, I'm playing Aspect of Hydra. And I don't know if you know of this card. It's from Born of the Gods. It gives a creature +X/+X based on our devotion to green. We are a mono green deck with a ton of 1 and 2 drops. We even have Rancors to power up our green devotion, which turns this card into a serious beating a lot of the times. I think this is a highly underrated card. I've been pretty impressed with how it performs, and hopefully the matches will indicate that. So I just want to quickly go over all of the other more unorthodox, interesting choices and numbers. I'm playing 2 copies of Essence Warden in this Stompy list, and this is a mirror breaker. This is a way to stop other aggressive decks in their tracks. It's a must kill. We're running 28 creatures. The other aggressive decks are running around 30 creatures as well. So if this is on the table, it's just a game-winning effect. For us to constantly be gaining life on each player's turn is something they can't keep up with. To complement this, we also have 2 copies of Vault Scourge, which is a little more common, a little more expected. This guy can become Baneslayer Angel in the air if you're pumping him up enough. So I think that's actually pretty cool. As far as 1-drop options, we also have a Singleton Hunger of the Howl pack, only 1 copy. I don't want diminishing returns with a bunch of multiples. If you can't trigger Morbid, then this card is not exciting at all. If you can, it's very exciting. We're not playing Nest Invader, which would be the natural companion piece to this card to just automatically get us to trigger Morbid whenever we want. So just running 1, it's a Miser's copy to hopefully have in hand when we can use it. Another Miser's copy is Bone Splitter, which acts kind of like an extra Rancor, but it's cool because you can equip to multiple different creatures. You can just move it around, and you don't have to worry about a guy getting sniped by an instant speed removal spell and your Rancor going to the graveyard. Safehold Elite is possibly an unorthodox choice here, but I really want to have some game plan against removal heavy decks, and pairing a persist creature with an undying creature with a protection spell and a regenerating creature in River Boa is going to help give us a little bit of insurance against removal heavy opponents. And you see the Singleton Slaughterhorn here. Nice flex slot. It's a Singleton, first of all, because multiples in your hand is going to be somewhat disappointing. The 3/2 body for 3 mana is not an exciting or valuable deal. But what is valuable is the versatility of this being either a threat when we have a weak board state, or a pump spell when we need to get through a giant growth. And this is basically an uncounterable giant growth after the attackers are declared. Lastly, a Singleton Epic Confrontation. This is our only it's a removal spell / pump spell, so it definitely has that going for it. The sideboard, very obtuse, not all that intricate. I just wanted the most high impact narrow cards I could find. So we have 4 Scattershot Archer to kill not Cloud of Fairies, Spellstutter Sprites, Fairy Miscreants, Delver of Secrets in the air, any tokens decks. Spore Frog, for me personally, has been an all-star out of Stompy sideboards against Nivix Cyclops and stuff like that, other aggressive strats. It's really valuable because a lot of these aggressive mirrors come down to 1 turn worth of difference. You're racing to the very last second. It's a photo finish. So if you can negate their entire attack step, then you're going to be in good shape. We've got some relics to stop graveyard decks. Everybody's really into graveyard stuff right now, especially the new Vessel just got printed, and Tortured Existence is always something that people are tinkering around with. Delve creatures, you know what I'm talking about. We got a second Epic Confrontation if we have creatures that need to die. It's good to just double up on the removal. Sabotages for a number of different artifacts or enchantments that need to be removed, and then a very narrow card in Nourish, which is going to come in against Burn, and this is going to negate 2 of their burn spells and put us ahead in the race and hopefully win us the game. Alright guys, I hope you will enjoy the matches. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think of the deck, and enjoy the battles. Hello boys and girls, we are here playing in a Pauper 2-man queue. We are on the draw, and we're going to keep this 7-card hand. It's very mixed all around, and we'll see what the opponent's doing. We may actually start with Essence Warden instead of Young Wolf, but so I'm kind of confusing myself here, but looks like we're playing against Delver, so Essence Warden is okay, but I think Young Wolf is just a more resilient threat overall. So it's definitely a toss-up. We could also just kill the Phantasmal Bear with a pump spell. That might be a good play as well. But I think we want to get on the board first. And I'm going to go with Young Wolf because it's just more of a problem. Essence Warden is fine for racing, but that leaves him the opportunity to counter our Young Wolf later, and I think the Young Wolf's going to be more problematic. So here we're not going to block. If he just ninjas, we get a Safehold Elite or something out. So he actually just does nothing. So I'm definitely attacking. I think I'm going to bait out with Essence Warden and then probably play the second Young Wolf. It does give him a Spell Stutter Sprite, but I mean, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. We could just opt to kill the bear, but we can do that anytime, and he can't counter it. Alright, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm going to just throw everything out there. Essence Scatter. That's a very interesting choice. So this looks like it's still Delver, but bottom. Okay. Gonna let him get in there. And this is kind of interesting. Well, definitely attack. Probably bait with Pit Skulk, and if it doesn't resolve, I can throw a Rancor on something. We can also aspect his guy. I think we attack first, though. See if he's going to jump in with a Spell Stutter Sprite. Does not. So I could just bait out with the Rancor at this point, because he's getting to Spire Golem mana. This is really close. I'd like another guy on the board. So I'm going to put it here. See if he wants to counter. Okay. And we're gaining some life, so that's good. He's not drawing extra cards yet. He may go ninja. We'll see. He doesn't seem interested in blocking, so this must be ninja here. So we're going to try and get Safehold Elite down. He's just going to pass. So that's interesting. Let's start with Ranger and see if he wants to counter it, I guess. So he's going to counter it. So I'm actually just going to attack with these two. He's welcome to block this. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't want to. Okay, so I'm going to use Young Wolf here. Aspect does +3. So I could do that if I want. Okay, he's just going in up top. So his board's pretty threatening and he has a mana advantage, but okay, so here I'm actually going to kill that thing. But we keep gaining life off of this Essence Warden. Okay, so that's not going to do what he wants it to do. But that's fine. Just wasting his mana here. And I think he's realized that. I'm going to focus on the game and not the chat. No disrespect intended. So this guy dies. We untap. I drew another aspect. I think we want the Safehold Elite. And am I willing to trade Pit Skulk for Ninja? Yeah, I guess so. We also could just use a pump spell, but I don't think I'm going to. He's down to 2 cards, we don't know what they are. He seems very concerned with our board. because it's very tough for blue to deal with a resolved board state like this. Okay, he did find Spire Golem and Fairy Miscreant. I just keep gaining life, but he has quite an Air Force now. Ooh, this is interesting. He's got one card and it's likely a counter. So I think we want to use Safe Hold and try and get Sheenan out later. Meaning like next turn. Okay. We don't really have any attacks. So now he's just going to fly in with some number of air guys, I think. Okay, pokes me for 1. I am going to play Sheenan, and then we'll see what he wants to do. If he has a counter. Pretty sure he's just reading the card at this moment. It is a counter spell. So I have a Giant Growth in hand, which I think means I want to attack with this. Yeah. He's just going to take it. That's fine. I was just about to say, we're hoping he doesn't have some type of preordain. Top. Fairy Miscreant resolves. So he's going to draw whatever. I mean, his board state is really tough for us as well. This is not looking like a game we're going to win. But you never know. I mean, he's basically got everything going for him right now. Trying to speed things along here. So I don't think we can get in too much trouble if we attack like this. Well, we need to leave a guy back for the ninja, I guess. So again, we'll just get in here. That's fine. I'm going to hold the land for now. Try and make things seem a little trickier than they actually are. It's fine. Okay, we're doing okay. This Essence Warden has really saved our butts. So I think we want to start here. Resolves. So he might be bluffing here. I'm going to go with Safe Hold Elite and see what happens. Okay, we're going to go for it. Yeah, he's just going to take it. Alright, that I'm going to let resolve. That's fine with me. I guess he's going for it. Oh, it resolves. We just bash through a Spire Golem. Like it ain't no thing. Okay, we're actually doing okay here. I don't love our spot, but looks like he's going to shuffle. He went through that so fast. It looks like he might be flooded too. Just F6. And we might also get a board position so dense that we can just start swinging because we go so wide. But right now that doesn't look like the case, and we don't have many good blocks. I mean, if we attack with everything, he can eat this and eat her, and we only get in for like 2 or 3, so I'm just going to pass. The longer the game goes, the more favored he is, which is a problem. Every time we just pass is not a good thing, but What are you going to do? Well, he's got a Delver of Secrets now. And we've got a pretty big secret that we can't do anything. Let's see. Again, he can just eat a couple guys, trade with a few, and it's not a great proposition. We could send 3, but I don't like it. I don't love it. I'm just going to wait, and I think we're probably going to lose this game, but I think we look pretty good in 3 games after sideboarding and stuff. Yep. So this is not going to last much longer. Maybe we can get a time advantage here, though. Just need to manipulate my F keys a little better. So, doesn't shuffle, probably picked up a counterspell, or a ninja, or both. So, he's coming in. We're at 13. So there's a Nettle Sentinel. I think we have to start making moves here, so I'm going to cast this first and see if it resolves. Then I can decide how I want to attack. Alright, so here's the thing. He can actually put Ninja here, Golem here, but I think we have to force in some amount of damage at this point. We're just not going to make it otherwise. Yeah, that's fine. So he ends up taking 2 and we gain 1. So it's not a huge loss overall. It does get us a bit closer to our goal. Alright, let's see what happens here. I'm at 12. He's got 2 cards in hand. And this is uncounterable. So I think we can just Alpha Strike here and kill whatever the Golem goes on top of. The only problem is the Essence Warden. Actually, I think we just swing with the 2/2s. Yeah, I like this. He's not going to see this coming. This is uncounterable, so he'd have to have a snap. And if he snaps that, we recast it. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, what else you got, pal? Oh, yield 2 for 1, huh? That's fine. Boom. Oh, baby. Is this going to work? And he takes 2? Wow. Pretty good for us. His board is looking pretty bad, but he does get in with Ninja. But we're just hoping at this point that... Ooh. That it's not going to matter. Let's see if he goes in with Ninja. Yep. So that's for 7. What if I just block? Just chump block. Yeah, I think that's actually worth it. I didn't think through his attack, but I knew I had to do something drastic to try and have a chance. And that's what I'm doing. I'm at 7, so I can't attack with everything. But I also can't, live through a snap or something, so... Just going to hope that is maybe good enough. All we really need is a pump spell to resolve, but I'm sure he's got some counters. We just got to hope he's on air. Yep. We're just hoping. Okay, he's just going to leave his guy back, which pretty much gives us no chance now. But we have accumulated about 30 seconds worth of stuff. If he plays another guy, I mean, we're already dead on board, but if he has another guy, it's even worse. So let's just see. Okay. Alright, this is game, so we're just going to move on to the next one. Not attack. We've accumulated even some more clock advantage, but sure. Alright, well, this seems like a winnable matchup. We just ended up on the wrong end of some tempo and not being able to get through Spire Golem and stuff. It's kind of tough. So the Slaughterhorn actually proved kind of useful in the sense that it was uncounterable. So anyway, when I sideboard, I usually just start by taking out the non-creature spells, and then I look at my sideboard and see what I want to bring in based on that. Because most of these creature threats we're going to leave in. The Essence Warden was surprisingly effective, so I think pretty much goes without saying that we're going to want all 4 of these. And Sabotage is also seemingly a blowout, but I don't want to bring in too many of them. Epic Confrontation could also be quite good. I think I'm going to try 2 of each. Which leaves us with 53. Bone Splitter seems nice as something that stays on the table. Same with Rancors. They stay on the table once they resolve. And then maybe just a couple Vines or something. I might even just only play 1 Lethal Sabotage. We don't want multiples. Yeah, we'll use some Vines. Pound for pound, mana for mana, it's not necessarily as good as Aspect, and we didn't see any snaps or anything. But you have to imagine he's going to be bringing in some type of removal, like Coral Net or something like that. Is there anything we want to cut other than that? Vault Scourge might be... Vault Scourge just seems very underwhelming, actually. Just going to trade with absolutely anything that flies, so that seems kind of stupid. I think Hunger might be good. Something dies, and then we resolve this, and have just a big creature like River Boa. That could be pretty gross. Let's try this. Stuff's going to die a lot if we get archers down. This hand doesn't have archers, but it has Boa. So I think I'll keep... We can go turn 1 Warden, turn 2 Boa. He goes to 6. And looks like he kept... I'm not sure what he did, but I'll check after. So we'll go turn 1 Essence Warden. What did he do? What did he do? He topped. Alright, I think I'm just going to go double 2 drop, actually. Double 1 drop. There is a chance that he has Force Spike. So I'll kind of play around that. And I think it's just better to make more guys. I think it's just harder to deal with. Does not have Force Spike. Okay, good for us. Now, he can't really just sit and do nothing. But if he does that, it'll be kind of interesting to see. Okay, he plays a Bone Splitter. So we're getting the River Boa. And this game is almost over already. I think I'll lead with River Boa and then play Ranger. There's very few things that'll punish this. There's a card called Fade Away that might be bad. If he has that, I'm not sure what we'll do. Okay, but I can untap that. I'll wait till my turn. So I'll play Nettle Sentinel. Untap my Quirion Ranger, or untap my River Boa. Attack. So this is 6. Yeah, he's pretty screwed. I'll play Sheenan, which also basically screws him. I'd be surprised if he doesn't die next turn. I'd be pretty surprised. Yeah, Cursive Chain's very ineffective against Quirion Ranger. It's just suboptimal. And that's coming from someone who's played a lot of blue control decks and can definitely attest to that. Cursive chains targeting what? Sure. That resolves. And all I have to do is cast a green spell to to untap. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, I would say. Alright, so what we're going to do here is just cast this, untap that, return a forest, untap this. He just concedes. So he got absolutely steamrolled that game. That was just brutality. Looks like instead of playing Hunger, we actually are going to play the second Gleeful Sabotage. I think that makes more sense. Or we could play Aspect or something. What do you want, Jason? Do you want Aspect? 30 creature threats. Or do you want Sabotage? Sabotage is going to have targets, it appears, so we'll go with the Aspect. Okay, so he's certainly going to play first. All comes down to this one, folks. And that was a pretty... The first game was somewhat close, so we were at a disadvantage for a very long time. It seemed like we might have a chance to come back once we killed off his golems and stuff. But his Delver flipped so quickly, and he had a Bone Splitter. Oh, man. And we're going to have to mulligan. Okay. He keeps on 7 cards. Oh, no. So, yeah, there's absolutely no way we can keep this. If the Sheenan and either the Bone Splitter or the Vines were Forest, it would be almost perfect, but... Okay, do I want to keep a one-lander on the draw? I think I do. First of all, we can play 4 things. Second of all, it has a River Boa. Third of all, we're on the draw with a Scry, so I'll keep. And I'll bottom because I want a Forest. Alright, let's see what happens. He's got the Delver draw. Ooh, Scattershot Archer. Do I want to just resolve that? Yeah, I think so. I think it's better than Warden at this point. Okay, doesn't flip. That's good. No attack. So I'm not going to attack either. I'm just going to try and resolve Essence Warden, and if he plays Spellsetter Sprite, I can kill it. No, that resolves. So I guess I'll just not attack. I'll just keep the skies clear as long as I can. Missing lands is not good. We're going to eventually want to hit one. Okay. More Vines of Vastwood. Alright, I'm going to offer the trade with Essence Warden here. Because I want to try and get the Pit Skulk in. We got to start using our mana. I mean, he's probably going to counter it, but he did let the Warden resolve, so... Kind of makes me think he's got a Sprite. Okay. That's also acceptable. I just got this guy on guard duty, waiting to shoot something down. Alright, he has an Essence Scatter, so at least we know about it. And this is going to be a little tricky. I think I probably have to go for Rancor on Essence Warden at this point. We can't really get a creature in there. Yep. So this will hopefully keep us in the game. We're not yet winning the race, but we have a lot of... I almost 100% have him on at least one Spell Stutter Sprite. So we can outrace this if we get the other Rancor. I think he's going to go Golem, yeah. That makes sense. Auto yield to that. We know about the Essence Scatter, don't forget. And we basically have no other play but to do this. It's going to be very hard to race, but we're going to try. He's going to block. Alright, we'll take that. He takes one. Yeah. I mean, we have no way to block the air, so we might as well attack. The tricky part here becomes, you know, now I probably have to Rancor my Archer and start attacking. Okay, he actually decides to go with a Ninja. It's a very interesting decision. So this puts us in a very tricky spot. But I think I have to Rancor my Archer and I don't even know. I guess I have to block with it. I can't win if he keeps drawing an extra card every turn, so we just are really screwed by our draws. I mean, maybe the keep is not the best choice, but having 3 vines in hand and really nothing to do with them is pretty rough too. So I think I just do have to block here. So we know about the Essence Scatter. I mean, either one gives him let's just play Bone Splitter. Either one gives him that Spell Stutter Sprite he's been waiting for, but oh, or not. Well, it's pretty obvious we don't need all 3 vines. Okay, that's not good. Why is he not playing? He's leaving up 2 counters. Extra safe, huh? Speaking of safe, I think I'm going to go with the Safe Hold Elite. That way if I draw Forest, I can go Young Wolf, River Boa. Yep. So this is looking awful for us. Having missed all those lands, it's just not going to be possible for us to realistically catch up, especially against all of these overwhelming odds now. He didn't even replay it. Yeah, well, we're still going for this, and it's probably still not working. Oh, it did work. So I wonder if he's going to Cursive Chains it. He's just going to attack. Well, I'm actually going to let him attack me now, because I think our only possible remote chance of winning is using River Boa to kill somehow. He could put lethal damage on the board, possibly. We know he has a Delver. What else does he have? I'm going to have to try and do 15. Okay. So, I guess I could try and start here. Sure. Actually, it doesn't actually matter here. So do I equip or do I go for the Rancor? I think I just equip. It's kind of the same difference. I don't think I can race. It doesn't seem logical, but I think we gotta try. Yeah, I think we're dog food here. Yeah, it's actually just game, especially if he finds a bone splitter, but it really doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've seen enough. So that didn't go well. But it seems like a winnable matchup. We seemed like we were on the wrong side of some unfortunate variance and circumstance. I don't think we played like crap. Maybe we did and just didn't realize. So let me know what you guys think. But thanks for watching. All right, guys, we're back here with some Titanic two-mans, and our opponent's mulligan to 6, kept on the top. I'm actually going to lead with Vault Scourge because it flies over anything he could play. I think it's a little better than Essence Warden, so. And we're going to get the life back just with each attack, so it's kind of like casting the Essence Warden. Though, we'll see what's going on here. So what did he do? He mulliganed to 6, and I think he topped. Alright, let's go for the attack. I think I'm just going to safe hold a lead if this thing, well, if it hits or if it dies, because he could just play another swamp and play an edict, so I'd rather have something to kind of absorb that. Yeah, he's mono black. That's not going to be good for us. But now potentially we can eat up removal spell with vines. I'm just going to keep on pushing here. We have way too many lands. I mean, we really need to not draw another land for the rest of the game. And here comes a Death Touch Rats. Oh no. Why? So, yeah, we can just send these two. We could actually send all of them. I'm actually willing to send all of them because it's worth getting in 3 damage to lose that Essence Warden, especially because we just drew the safe hold elite, so. And it's not like that. He's not even going to block. Interesting. Alright, take 4. Or do I have to Vines you? This is a pretty big blowout. If he goes for a removal spell, I think I'm kind of willing to block because it looks like he might be going for a Shinobi or something. We'll see. If he plays a Swamp and just attacks, I mean, that's a pretty big telegraph. Now he has 2 rats. Eternal Thirst. So we're going to want to counter that with our Vines of Vastwood. And that's really dangerous for us because this could make things really rough. He's just going to make a Baneslayer eventually. So now we kind of screwed him over. But we also kind of have nothing going on. I'm still just going to attack with everything because right now we're running with very little fuel in the tank, and we need to try and kind of limp over the finish line. That's fine. So he's going to take 3. We're going to get... We only lose 1 guy. Yeah, this is going to be real tough here. It's a pretty good draw, actually. I imagine he's got some kind of removal spell here. Looks like it might even be tendrils. Oh, it's not. Oh man, that's an interesting. If he has another one of these, it actually kills Riverboa. And I will play the land. I mean, there's too much of a risk of him having chittering rats, ravenous rats. We're looking okay. These Safehold Elites are doing some work here. So this is an interesting take on mono black. It's very strange. Look at the top. Okay, so he's going to 5. That puts him dead on board. Ruthless Cullblade. So this kind of, I mean, I don't actually see a ton of synergy between these cards. I think it's kind of, I mean, maybe it's an Eternal Thirst kind of theme deck, but I really can't say. So Devotion right now is only 3. So if I Aspect here, it'll become a 5/4 and then shrink right back down, and he should lose at that point. So I'm going to go for it, and we'll see what happens. It shrinks right back down to what it was, and now we attack with everything, and that's Xaxes. Okay, so that was a very narrow victory. I mean, we weren't close to losing, but we were. I mean, if he was going to do that, he wanted to do that before I drew my card. So, anyway. I mean, it's debatable. I mean, he might be trying to get around some type of pump spell. So, I think this is the only one that's an auto-include. Probably this coming in too, but for now we're just going to remove it to see. I don't think we actually want Epic Confrontation. He doesn't have a lot of creatures. I think we want all 4 vines because he's very removal heavy. And nothing in our sideboard really does anything to him. So I think I'm just going to put all this stuff back in. And then we have to decide what the last card's going to be. I mean, we only saw Typhoid Rats. If I just play a Scattershot Archer, this could kill my own Vault Scourges. That could be a Nombo. Yeah, I guess we'll just run it. It's more useful than any of the other cards. So we'll just try it like this. Nice to be up a game. We're almost certainly going to be on the draw. And very keepable hand, so I'm liking that. He again goes down to 6. No offense, but it seems like a lot of the stuff in his deck is overpriced. So instead of playing Sign in Blood, he's playing, I think it was called Bitter Revelation, which is basically 4 mana for a little bit, just a little bit better than a Sign in Blood, not a lot. And so on and so forth. And that's the same thing, I mean, he's playing a 5 mana Doomblade, essentially, or a 5 mana Vendetta. Okay, so most likely just going for the follow-up of these 2 1-drops. I can't think of any 3 mana sweeper, so we might as well just go for it. And that's if he kills this or not. So now we're probably just... We could just Vines this. Now I probably should have played the land. Yeah, let's just Vines this. We actually wouldn't have We actually wouldn't have used the kicker anyway, because that would have completely just time walked us. So now we're just going to play the Pit Skulk. And we'll go from there. That card gets pretty expensive. Alright, so now we're definitely going Rancor, Safe Hold Elite. Or is it better to go Safe Hold Elite, Vault Scourge? Nettle Sentinel for 2. Next turn, probably Rancor for 4, 6, 7. 2 plus 7 is 9. If we Sentinel now for 4 and play Elite, next turn we attack for 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. 2 plus 4, 5, 6, 7 is 9. 4 plus 6 is 10. So we're going to Rancor now. And these are both more resilient to sweepers. Vault Scourge not so much. But, you know, Rancor and Elite both come back. Okay, he's got a Rats. I think we can attack with both since we have... What is that? Okay. So I think we can attack with both because we're either getting in for 5 or getting in for 4. I mean, he might, you know, he might, what you call it? He might have a removal spell, but probably not. He's on his last card, only has 1 mana open. Yeah, I am fine with that. So I could just replay the Rancor here. Could also get Sheenan out. I mean, a 2-3, if we're getting through that, we need to have Rancor around. And Vault Scourge gets through as well. Maybe I just play Vault Scourge. Because River Boa, I mean, we could find a pump spell. We don't have that currently. The reason I want to Rancor now is he's pretty much tapped out. So, yeah, I think I'll do that for sure. And then it's really a matter of what we're doing after that. He could have an Eternal Thirst. Yeah, I'm just going to play this guy. This way we're getting in damage all next turn regardless. Yeah, but I mean that could be good. That could be a huge problem. If he attacks us, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So we're basically racing this guy. We have lifelink 2. So for now, we'll try and get him for 4. Yeah, I think I'll play both. We need to race his lifelink. I think he's got the 5 mana removal spell and just doesn't have the 5th land, so maybe we can fade that for a turn. It's going to be hard to race this, but we're going to try. It looks like he might be deciding whether or not to attack. He's going to kill something. Last gasp, probably. He's just deciding what he wants to kill. Okay, he gains 2 from that. So now he's at 3-4. He's going to go up to 11. Oh, he's actually not going to block. So now I could go for the River Boa. I could go for the Vault Scourge. River Boa is 4, and then I can regenerate. Yeah, then I get to attack up top as well. I don't want to send everything. Wow, that is pretty ballsy. If I had a pump spell there, it would have been bad news. Okay. So now I have to go for the Vault Scourge. Or he could attack me. He goes up to 6. That's basically a death sentence. Yeah, you can't do that. He's at 3 though. Oh, so okay, he's probably dead. So if I just straight up attack, I think he's dead anyway. If he has a removal spell, we're in trouble. I could Epic Confrontation here, but then I have to regenerate. So I think it's just the attack. And then maybe he kills this. That could be a problem. So do we play around removal spell? Maybe. Because if he kills this, it's a total blowout where he gets to eat this, death touch here. Maybe it's not that bad. He kills this, this becomes a 4/5. He gains 4 up to 7. He takes 4 back down to 3, but he has a 4/5. Can we win this game if he doesn't? If he does have a removal spell, can we win this game anyway? Through another line of play. That's what we need to decide here. So if he has a removal spell and we make just a conservative attack like Vault Scourge River Boa, he would then just block here. He can't just do that, because he would die. But he, So if we were just to attack with River Boa and Vault Scourge, he would then use the removal spell on the River Boa, and we'd have to regenerate. He would take 1 and go to 2. And then he could attack back with a 3/4 lifelink and get back up to 5. It's a super conservative attack. He could also block with Shambling Goblin or whatever this thing is, Ghoul. You know what? I'm gonna make the conservative attack. Some of you at home are probably screaming at the computer right now. I'm sure there's something that I'm overlooking here, but it seems like if he does, maybe we just put him to the sword. We are playing against a life-linking Shambling Ghoul that, if we just give him an inkling of a chance to stay alive, we might regret. Again, if I attack with everybody, he can kill this if he has the removal spell. Then he just blocks this, and we're basically completely screwed. So this way he has to block here. And I am going to sign like that. Now I'm going to regenerate. And I think I have to regenerate a second time. I'm not sure if that's true, but... Okay, his guy died. Do I have to choose a replacement? Click on the card to choose. So I only had to do it once. It's kind of weird. Okay, so I could Epic Confrontation, but I'm not going to. Alright, maybe that gave him the chance he needed. Okay. So, alright, so he's still dead here, unless he can get something that's free, like Snuff Out. Doesn't that do 4 damage to him? Okay, yeah, he's definitely dead here. So just alpha now. Well, despite my best efforts, we're going to win this game. And looks like we're going to take this match down 2-0 against a very strange mono black build. So we got some play points out of that, and hopefully you guys got some entertainment. Those last couple turns, definitely something to review and look over from a strategy standpoint. If you have any input, please do share, and otherwise, thanks for watching. Alright guys, we're doing some more Stompy here. We're going to play first. Let's see what our opening hand looks like. Looks alright. We'll definitely keep this. Our opponent, 1975. I was wondering if that's the year that Steven Spielberg's Jaws hit the big screen. Issued in the era of the summer blockbuster, changed the landscape of film forever, for better or worse, depending on your position. And it looks like we're facing off against Burn, which is going to be unfortunate because we're losing our essence, so to speak. I've only played against Burn once so far, and we were able to win. We're basically as fast as them. And if we have things like Warden or Nourish, we can sometimes just trump what they're doing. They're a little more singularly focused. But it's not by any means just over. I mean, obviously something like this can be a huge problem. You know, our deck just turns on Searing Blaze. He's very far ahead, I would say. Hopefully a 1-drop, not a 2-drop. That's interesting. So, I don't think we need to start thinking about pumping yet. We're at 17, which is a safe enough life total that we don't have to try and orchestrate too fast of a win, but next turn we might start throwing the pump spells. Okay. Just making sure this is going to work. 17. I mean, we could have attacked for 5 there. And then next turn possibly 7 and another 7. 5, 7, 7 is only 19. Yeah, he's off to a very good start right now. Is this a needle drop? Yep. So now we probably need to start thinking about pumping stuff. So now I have 2 aspects, which is 7 damage. If I go aspect and vines, that's 5, that's 9 damage, and I can try and do the same thing next turn. So I think I am going to do that. And just hope that he doesn't kill my guy. But if he does kill my guy, I think that's also probably fine. So Vines is 7 and Aspect is 9. And if he just taps out, we can decide if we want to go for it. So now our guy's too big to die to Fire Blast. That's why I did it in that order. He goes to 8. And then we have the potential to kill him here. Nope, he's going to Searing Blaze. So that ends up not being the best for us, because we could have just left Vines of Vastwood open. But I feel like I can't specifically play against Searing Blaze. This is going to be a huge problem. We need a guy. Half of our deck is guys, so, I mean, I'm glad we found one. Definitely going to cast Rancor. And this might be a big deal for us, but we are at 9, so we might already be dead. It's really hard to say. We did absorb 3 damage, so we would actually be at 6 here if we didn't have that turn 1 Essence Warden. Yeah, this seems like an even matchup. The problem here being I can't go for the kill. Otherwise I'm just going to get killed. Especially if I go Vines first. And if I play this, I'm shocking myself. I'm only taking 1, but it's still worse. I don't know what to do. I mean, if I go for the vines, he's probably just going to kill it in response with a 3 damage something. So I think I just have to attack for 5 this turn. If he tries to kill it, then I can go for the vines. And I don't think we play this. I think we are kind of screwed, but I don't know. Maybe he'll go for something. Maybe he has 2 burn spells. So the hope is that he... No, he's just going to take it. And I think that's going to finish us off. Maybe it's the case that we should have gone for it, but... Yep. Yeah, I guess this was not correct. I mean, he would have just incinerated our guy, but I'm really not sure. This is going to be a game. Yep. Okay, so let's still thinking about this commenting. Let's see what we can do here. So basically we just want Nourish to come in. Maybe one of these for a curse. Confrontation can come out. That gets us 1 Nourish. What else? I mean, I don't want to cut guys. We need as many threats as possible. I think Vines is a useful pump spell. Aspect could be very explosive. Bone Splitter costs 2. Essentially, every time we want to equip it, it costs 2. So maybe that's not so good. I don't think there's really anything else. We could bring this in if we want to kill Curse, but that's the only thing it does. So I think we'll just do it like this. And we're hoping to find Essence Wardens and Nourishes, or just really fast hands. So this is a 1-lander on the play, but it does have Nourish, and it has a bunch of things we can do. So I'm actually going to keep this. And Vault Scourge could potentially be a big game. He keeps 7, so I mean this could definitely bite us in the butt. I think there's enough here to warrant keeping it, so we just got to run with it and hope that everything pans out. So it probably just burns us. Nope, Rift Bolt. Ooh, that's a pretty good draw. I guess I'll just play that now. It's kind of a must kill. So it's not the fastest clock, but if he, let's say, misses a land or something, doesn't have his Searing Blaze going, I think it's potentially very worthwhile. Now, in all likelihood, it's going to get killed. But that's gaining us 3 life, essentially, unless he has that Searing Blaze. So we have to think about that. It's also another way to to untap the Sentinel, which is good. And there's a chance maybe he's got Needle Drops and a bunch of 2-drops and no lands. But no, it just eats a Lightning Bolt, and you know, we're pretty happy about that. Okay, so we're safe to definitely just play our 2 guys. We don't need to Nourish yet. And we can definitely use the Nourish to untap our team next turn if we want. I mean, I'm seeing probably Vault Scourge dying again. Or also dying, rather. So that's not... And it shocks us now, but we're going to gain some life back just by pumping the Vault Scourge or casting Nourish. And if he's missing lands, it's just not gonna end well for him. So I think I'll just attack with everybody and get the nourish going. If I want, I could Slaughterhorn the Vault Scourge and leave up Vines. And next turn I could cast Nourish. Nourish gains more life overall. So I think I'm going to do that. I'd rather gain the most life. Even though he's probably winning by... it's definitely debatable. I think I will Slaughterhorn this. He takes 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then next turn, if I have to untap my team, I can just cast Nourish on my turn. But if he just tries to kill a guy, I can Vines it, all my guys untap. It's pretty cool. And I'm at 16, and he's going to be in a tough position. He actually just concedes. Cool. So he didn't even see the Nourish. And I'm pretty sure we don't want to change anything. We didn't really see anything here that would make us feel like, oh yeah, we want to change something. I mean, I guess Hunger is a little bit worse. Bone Splitter is just pound for pound going to be better. This has a higher ceiling but a lower floor. And we can't leave mana up for our guys. And just to expect our guys to die. We can't time that perfectly. He's going to kill our guys at his leisure, and we're going to want to be using our mana in a better, more efficient way. Yeah, we'll keep this. This is, just an average hand for us. So in that sense, it could be bad, but any number of things could help us out depending on what we draw. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, so assuming that Nettle Sentinel lives, I think our course of action next turn, and that he's tapped out, is to Rancor this and then play the second one. I think that's basically what we want to be doing. If he just Searing Blazes this... Oh, okay, yeah. So this is very good for us because I think we can definitely race this, depending on what we draw. I mean, this is a good start for him, but we're going to catch up pretty quickly in terms of damage, I feel. Well, now this raises an interesting question, because now I think we actually want to just play the two guys. Okay, we can attack for 2 now. Next turn, assuming we can get Rancor, we can attack for 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. It's actually the same difference. It's just a matter of can we get Rancor on something. I think I'm going to play the 2 guys. It's also a little better if he removes something on his turn, because we have extra bodies on the table for our turn. Okay, so this is a strong start for us. But it's also a strong start for him. And he's... Okay, so we're going to get blazed. Or not. Alright, so going for the Rancor here is a little rough. And because we drew the Warden, I'm just going to cast that first. That could be a game changer as well. He does have a lot of ample space for killing stuff here. But we're going to try and force this down before anything significant happens. I think he is just going to blow up the Essence Warden. But we will just try and rush to get a point in. I think he's going to kill it now. He has priority. Electrickery, okay. Didn't do a lot, but did save us from gaining a life. And we have I think we have lethal on the table. However, that's going to require Rancor. Yeah, so I think we actually just Bone Splitter. And see what he wants to do. This is at only 10. But him being able to do 13 damage is pretty much a stretch. He needs to have 2 bolts and a Fire Blast in hand, and he needs to draw a bolt. And he didn't do anything to us that turn. So I would assume he's actually dead here. Yeah, there's no combination of stuff he can have. So that's another win against Burn. And that's a pretty good sign for this Stompy deck. We're using a lot of weird card choices and a lot of weird numbers, but it seems to be working out so far. So I'm kind of happy seeing that. I would definitely appreciate any input you guys have on my play or on the deck list itself. What do you guys think could be some improvements, some tuning and tweaking? And hopefully that, well, let me rephrase. I hope that these matches have been entertaining for you guys to watch, hopefully somewhat informative. But as far as this series of videos goes, I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in to this installment of Time Up.